We live.
Good. All right, what's up, everybody? This is episode 9,
Hey,
8.
Eight.
This is episode 8 of the Cheap Seats podcast with your host Icy, my two good friends Chan and Mac. You already know what the deal is, man. But for the first time in this podcast, we're going um, back to back nights. Thank y'all for tuning in on this glorious Thursday night, man. Right off the back, if you're an NBA sports fan, NBA fan, y'all are seeing there's blowouts everywhere in the league right now. Especially the 60-point blowout that's happening in Oklahoma right now with the with Portland right now. It's kind of nasty, very nasty.
this is. I mean, it's 123 to 65. I know there's been a 60-point win before, but I couldn't tell you the last time I saw it.
I know the Lakers set a record against the Mavericks. They got blown out, I think, by 65 points. I think that it might have been more.
Good
I
Lord.
gotta
What
I'll
year
look
was
that
that?
up really quick. That was recent. That was I think it was 2017, 2018.
But I mean, the Bucks beat the Celtics pulled their starters right after halftime. I mean,
Yeah. Well, they were coming off an OT win last night in Boston. They're coming off. This was a back-to-back for them.
Mhm.
Doesn't really. They're not really. They're still 3 games up for the first seed, so it doesn't really matter. It's whatever. Gotta give Bucks fans something.
are the Bucks the 2 seed?
Yeah, they're a 2 seed. The Celtics are 3 games clear of them.
Okay.
Tonight, the NBA is officially known as the National Backshot Association. 'Cause everybody's getting blown out. The Mavs were blowing out the Knicks. Like we said, Celtics and the Bucks. That game was so bad they switched over to the Mavericks and the Knicks, and the Mavericks was blowing the Knicks out.
Yeah, they're up 74-55 right now at halftime.
Yeah,
I don't even think Jalen Brunson had a point until the second quarter. I'm about to check that real
Oh,
quick.
and this was without Luca too.
Oh,
okay.
Luka?
Yeah, Luca's on the bench.
So-
Yeah,
I actually found it. Not to interrupt, but this was back when Luke Walton was coaching the Lakers. It was back in January of 2017. The Lakers lost 122 to 73.
Ew. Luke Walton. I forgot about those days. That's disgusting.
a lot of nasty basketball being played. And if you got the screen up right now, you watching TNT, the Lakers versus Suns playing right now. What y'all got in that game?
Oh, Lakers. For sure,
It's
Lakers.
a real battle of the mid, but the Suns got it.
Suns got it. I'm gonna go with the Lakers. They've been had that card this whole season. They haven't beaten the Lakers at all. I think this season.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on right now in the
Just
association.
means
It's
they're due.
crazy. It is wild
Yeah.
what's happening.
Oh, Chan, you muted.
Chan, you muted.
Oh no,
I think-
I'm talking to the chat
Oh,
because I can mute in Discord and y'all can, like, if y'all are still talking, I'll mute and talk to the chat just like to respond to somebody so I don't interrupt what y'all are saying.
okay.
But yeah, but going on that, we have some pretty sad news and good news, depending on how you view it. Two coaches, one part ways with their organization franchise, and the other one stepped down but is still part of the team. Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick. It's been a crazy past 48 hours, really 72 hours in like the coaching circles of like football in general. Obviously, the big news yesterday, we had Nick Saban, old Saint Nick. He officially called it quits. And now, and also yesterday, we also had Bill Belichick. He parted ways. Matt, how you feel, man? That's your boy.
Who, Bill?
Yeah, well, he's not really your boy. He's really your pop.
Nah.
So,
It's funny. I feel the opposite as I did yesterday. Yesterday, it felt like I had a relative pass away. Today felt pretty good. because I've been waiting for this moment for like 3 years. I mean, been circling on the calendar. Uh, yeah. Bill's got nothing left. Unlike Saban, I thought Saban had at least 3 to 4 good years of coaching left in him. Bill's got nothing left. I'm not sure if he really had all that much left as a head coach. I mean, he's the greatest defensive mind of all time. But I don't know. You just kind of
Getting
look at
hacked.
that. What's that?
You're getting hacked right
Yo,
now,
you're getting
bro.
hacked right now, bro.
Yeah.
Mac
Yeah.
is in the portal right now. Whoa,
Yeah.
dude, this is great. I'm leaving it up. This is crazy.
This is nasty.
Hold on, turn your camera off
Oh.
and turn it back on. Dude, this looks wild. If you pull up the stream right
Oh,
now on your
shit, really?
phone, yeah,
Hold up.
dude, that was
Let's see.
crazy.
I can Mac mid.
There we go. Okay,
mid
there
up.
we go. There we go.
All right,
We
all right,
good.
there we go. Oh, that's hilarious. Nah, but nah, Bill's got nothing left. 11 seasons, 9 losing seasons, 2 where he made the playoffs, 0 division titles, 20 more losses than wins without Tom Brady. Really makes you call into question some of the GOAT allegations.
Yeah.
Damn.
Chan, how you feeling?
Oh, me? Well, both of these guys caused so much heartbreak for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's see, 28-3 from Belichick was really tough. I mean, that was gonna be my first ever sports championship, and then within the matter of like 30 to 35 minutes, it was just gone. Just see ya. Nope. Better like next year. Oh wait, there's not a next year. So, but then the next, or well, about what would that be? I think it was next year. About
11 months.
11 months later, Georgia's in the championship. It's looking pretty good. We're up 20-10, and in comes turn the ball over, and he doesn't turn the ball over. Because if he would have on that play, if you remember in that game, he would have been taken out. But he didn't. Which, actually, he did throw an interception, but then Jake Fromm threw one right back. So, sorry your career was ruined by Jake Fromm. Not that it was ruined, but, your championship hopes. He didn't deserve that. But, yeah, both of them really broke my heart in the craziest ways. So, I'm kind of happy. But I do feel bad for Matt because, that is there's a really big chance that we don't see 2 dynasties like that in our lifetimes again. And the fact that we got both of them at the same time was, as a non-biased sports fan, incredible. As a biased sports fan, I hated it, especially because they did, terrible things to my team. But shout out to Bill and shout out to Saban.
It's tough. There's going to be a lot of kind of piggybacking off of that. There's going to be a lot of people, because it was so long, that they just think, even in brass, even through ownership, they think that that's something that's like attainable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that more than ever, there's going to be a lot more coaching firings, a lot of good general managers and good coaches getting fired because they don't have success within the first 1 to 2 years.
Yep.
It's definitely, and it's also made sports discourse really toxic, whereas I feel like people don't truly understand the value of even winning one championship in certain conversations, because it's well, Brady had won 7, or look at what Saban's done at Alabama to kind of, besides us Bama fans, to discredit what happened with Clemson, or what's going on in Georgia right now. I don't think people truly understand how ridiculous those expectations are. Even with Kansas City, everybody's just well, are they going to be as good as the Patriots? And probably not, because as we're going to see, as these 2 dynasties kind of over the years will really start to more appreciate what was done, because I think we're about to realize how much parity there really is, like in both college football and in the NFL.
I agree. Well, it's also like it's going off of how you said that it ruined discourse a little bit. It's kind of like how Mahomes has ruined quarterback discourse because we expect these quarterbacks to out the gate be incredible and be these guys that are, you know, they their first actual year starting in the league and they're like, the greatest thing on turf, which is just not the case. I mean, Mahomes is like should be in a category by himself and then everybody else should be evaluated differently. He's just that good and it kind of kills like whenever we're evaluating say Hurts or Allen and then you start comparing them to Mahomes and it's like you can't really
Nah,
do that. He's his own entity. It's like Brady. He's his own entity.
yeah,
Manning,
exactly.
Manning was very good, but it's just like, or excuse me, he was great. Let me clear
Yeah,
that
he
up.
was great.
But you can't really compare it because they're just different.
Yeah,
He's here and they're
you,
here, and that's okay.
you're setting yourself up for failure, basically.
Exactly.
If that's your standard, then like no, once every 20 to 30 years, one person will fulfill those expectations, but it's like 0.00001%.
Well, it'd be like comparing Clyde Drexler to Michael Jordan, or like expecting him to be that because Michael did it. So because Michael did it, so everybody else could do it. No, no, not everybody can play 20 years in the NBA and at 39 average, what or not average, but drop 30 points. I mean, it's not feasible. It's not normal. This
Yeah.
what we're seeing in sports right now is not normal. So don't use them as a measuring stick. Use like pick like the second or third best guy and then use them and compare them. I'm really using my hands here. I'm like doing a charades.
Yeah. Hell of a mime impression.
Hey, I had to fake like my teams could win championships for a long time, so I got pretty used to it. How do you feel about it, though, Icy? Well, that was not English. How do you feel about it, Icy? There we go. Gotta slow down when I speak.
Um, what you want to call it? Pete. I can't even say that word. Pete was I was cool with Pete. I just hated the Legion of Boom and like Seattle in general, just because it was just crazy in general. If you knew like Panthers fans, like if they outside of the division, bro, I felt like they were our like rival in the NFC. Like they just had a crazy defense and like it would be some games be blowouts, but in some games be very close because just the great that was just the greatness of Cam in general. But and then I don't know how you know in some households in America there was for the longest people viewed the Patriots as a racist franchise just because of how the energy whatchamacallit Bill gave off and just being around a lot of people, like it will make you feel like you agree with them, but then as you get older, be like, that's not really the case. Bill, I respect Bill. He a legend, bro. Oh, we still smoking that pack though, but he a legend. He offensively he's amazing. He's probably the first person I know that will teach a quarterback. He's a defensive mind teaching a quarterback about defenses, and then that quarterback instantly got better.
Whoops.
Um, Also about Bill, I think he's not done coaching. I think he's probably gonna go somewhere, but even if he gets the head coaching job somewhere, he's got to have a great offensive mind. And I don't think it doesn't have to be a head coaching spot. I think he can be a DC somewhere because defensively, I mean, that's his thing. I just think the Patriots fucked up when they gave him like the keys to everything, bro. And like what I think Dan Orlovsky said it, bro, since 2013, they hadn't signed anybody back. No first round, second. Well, no, I think it's first round, second rounds, third, fourth, and fifths. Like nobody has been signed back. It's been just a rotating doors of like new players coming in, and then you get new players coming in, but it's the same people that keep hiring, which is crazy. But
Well,
it was time though.
when did David Andrews get drafted? Because I know he's on there. Just because
Undrafted.
he was undrafted.
Yeah, he was undrafted.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yep.
They
So,
just. Well, I guess I probably shouldn't put his business out on the internet. Not like we have a million people in here, but his wife is from my hometown. That's
okay. Although I will say there has been no player in the last 3 years that has leaked more information to the media than David Andrews.
Yeah,
he's been
Pete,
pretty pissed off about what's been going on. But I don't know. He's a 34-year-old center. I think he also is probably going to retire.
that's what he said. He said he may either play one more year or retire after this year. He said he was deciding, but I think they're having either she's pregnant or they just had another kid.
and Pete, I feel my heart kind of goes out to Pete because I didn't really want to see it end this way. He's kind of like that coach. I remember I had a coach. I can't think of his name, but rest in peace to him. He was like that crazy old dude that was like everybody loved, and like he just knew ball. And like even though like my head coach, he wasn't a head coach, but like everybody knew he was smarter than everybody. It was just like if you like a real football fanatic, you know that the Legion of Boom didn't run anything special in defense. It was really more the players than like the actual game plan. It ran basic cover 3 stuff that you see on Madden, Tampa 2, all that. Cover 4 palm, stuff like that. They just have players everywhere and everybody loved Pete. He's just that type of coach, bro. And the way it was kind of weird. If you look at the press conferences, Pete was selling Pete Carroll, and Bill Belichick was selling like, "Yo, I'm still up for a job." There's two different types of people and two different types of pleads in my mind. But Pete though, bro, be like, damn, it's like he's getting old. Maybe he sticks with Seattle. Who knows? I think the perfect place for him is the Chargers. And to be honest,
There's been a lot of smoke.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect place for him. If I'm Bill, I think the perfect place for him is being a DC at Washington, because Washington defense, they really need help for the past couple of years. Their middle linebacker play's been horrible. The back end ain't really been good, but they have talent back there. And the defensive line play, they had two. Well, they really had. It was like D line university over there almost, but they got rid of Chase Young and other cuz the Chicago
Montez Sweat.
Yeah, Montez Sweat, but they still got those two boys from Bama up there. So
yes, sir.
That used to be Bama, NFL Bama originally. They had so many people. I mean, still they got Ron Robinson.
Used to be the Patriots too, for a while.
So I would love to see those two coaches take them jobs, but we'll find out.
So, in the chat, Nathaniel said, "Bill to Atlanta after drafting Jaden Daniels." Okay, look. Second half of that, I love it. Need it. I mean, obviously, I'd want Caleb first, but second, I'll take Jaden. I don't want Bill in Atlanta. I love Bill. I think he's a much better coach than Arthur Smith. No doubt about it. No doubt. The only problem, he's going to retire in like 3 years. Like 3 to 5 years, that's all he'd say. So we'd be back in the same spot after we would already need to sign Jaden Daniels to a second contract. It'd be really bad if we had to find a head coach and retain Jaden Daniels. So as much as I would love to have Bill, he can go be a DC in Dallas or Washington. Be done.
Nah. Dude, if somebody's hiring Bill, they're hiring Bill to be their head coach and to also run the team.
You think he'd be a GM?
You don't. Oh, he'd have to be, because
well, I guess how he runs his
the amount of ego that he's allowed to have and the amount of clout that he's allowed to have from being a 6-time Super Bowl champ. Like you It's like going from there was a saying in a series that I watched, and it makes sense. They say movie actors never go to TV. You never downgrade.
That is true. What about I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff about Bill to the Chargers. I feel like that would.
It could work. I don't know. I think that they might think Pete is a
Now that you say that,
a
yeah.
guy that could get along with the locker room and everything. Although I don't know, I kind of feel bad for Pete. It's kind of funny. I have a connection to all three of these guys because Pete Carroll, for a lot of people that don't know, was the head coach of the Patriots before Bill Belichick took over. Uh, he said he would bring a championship to New England. He did, 2015. Thanks, Russ. Uh, but no, but I don't know. Pete, for the first couple of years, has a really good grasp on the locker room, and then he does something dumb, and it's never quite the same. Like, you guys would agree that, like, even now in the locker room, Pete, after Super Bowl 49, he never had the same pull that he did before that. Like,
No.
it just things just fundamentally changed. Like, they just dudes still, even that weren't even on that team, just like straight up do not like him for that.
Well, yeah, I mean it's the same thing as Dan Quinn. Not that he necessarily lost the locker room altogether, but he lost the fans for sure. The only thing that helped Pete for, I guess, this long after that type of a loss is he won one before, and they were going for back to back, so that helped. But like with Dan Quinn in Atlanta, as soon as that happened, we hated him. I mean, it just how it rolls. I mean, tough situation for him. Not, I guess the respectable thing would be to say, glad he's revived his career, kinda. But really, I'm not. If I had to hear the Brotherhood one more time, I think I'd lose my mind. So that's what. If he gets another head coaching job, I'm just worried about those fans because they are going to get sick and tired of hearing about the Brotherhood, the Brotherhood, the Brotherhood. You lose by 20, we still got the Brotherhood. You lose in a close loss in a way that your franchise has never lost before, you still got the Brotherhood. So,
Yeah, hey.
Good luck to them.
Or as Al Scott would say, the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood. See, that's why Al needs to be a head coach and not Dan Quinn.
Exactly.
Well, saying the Chargers, I think Jim Harbaugh has a big chance to go to LA. I think it's set up for.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking about Jim, let's go ahead and give a round of standing ovation to the Michigan Wolverines for winning the Natty. Congratulations. Shout out our good friends Sellout and Sellout Ed, Michael.
Michael.
Definitely, they told everybody, as delusional as some people say they are, bro. They told everybody was gonna win the Natty this year, and they came out and they did it, bro. Gotta give them props.
I mean, Evan Stewart just transferred to Oregon, and Oregon runs that conference now. But shout out to Michigan. They can have their fun for now.
Hey, they got their Natty now. Jim wants to win a Super Bowl, so
now Jim's gone, and
yeah,
a lot of other people are gone. They're losing like their whole offensive line. Blake Corum.
Oh, they're
like.
Oh yeah, because that was literally their last dance. Like that was it. If they, I still think Jim would have left because I don't think he would have want to stayed around for because that's going to be a rebuild. They need pretty much almost every single starter on offense is either out of eligibility or they're going to the draft.
I mean, okay, they're losing everybody but JJ and Don. I'm pretty sure Donovan Edwards. Like,
oh, is he not eligible for the draft?
I think he's eligible, but there's no reason for him to go. Honestly, I mean, he barely did anything up until the national championship game. But he looked good in
That's
it, and
true.
I think that if he can get some actual starting time now, which I understand Blake Corum's really good, so it's kind of hard to put Donovan Edwards always in front of Blake. But at the same time, he got a little disrespected this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like whenever they took him out right before halftime at Indiana, and they put Blake
Yeah.
back in after Blake had already scored like once or twice, I was like, okay, if I'm done and I don't get any more playing time after this, or more than what I've gotten already in this season, I'm leaving. I don't even care if I be the number one back. I would just felt disrespected personally.
I don't know. I feel like he'd be better off declaring that way. At least if he's a late round pick, he could go to a situation that's better than a Michigan team that's trying to rebuild their offensive line.
Mm.
Like he reminds me a lot of Isaiah Pacheco. I think they have a similar run style.
Actually, yeah,
So
that does make sense with how they play. Yeah,
I think honestly this might be crazy, but I think he has better physical traits to be a better profession be a better pro running back than Corum. I don't know if that's insane to say or not, but
I don't think he does. I mean, he's 6'1", 210. Like he's got and we've seen how he can play. I mean, guy against Ohio State, he went absolutely insane last year.
yeah.
He had 140 carries for 991 yards and 7 touchdowns. I mean, pretty good. But then this year, he only had. I mean, he still had 119 carries though, which is crazy. Granted, they did play one more game, but one more game, but still, he only had 497 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, it'll be his senior year. He's only 20.
Oh, it'll be his senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, man.
Unless he redshirted, but I don't think he did.
I don't know what the NIL money is, but I think even as a UDFA, he'd probably make more money than he would if he stayed.
Maybe with him being the league back, maybe I don't know. If they keep Jim, and they run that same system, now it's not going to work as good because all of them, like their whole O line is leaving. But
Gone, yeah.
But if they keep the same system, I don't know. I just feel like Donovan, if he it's the same thing with Nick and Sony. Not that Donovan Edwards bent his knee backwards like Nick, but I just think one more year would really benefit him. Because and saying in the same breath, I don't mean to have a long-winded talk, but in the same breath, Kenny McIntyre's left, I believe, a year early, and he was phenomenal for Georgia. And right now, he's like the third back or fourth back in Seattle. He's really good, but like he's just he's stuck behind Charbonnet and obviously Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting next year, man. And just going back to Jim, I think the smart move is probably leaving. But then again, I will say this. It's going to be a 12-team playoff. And then, like, the only person that really stands in your way is Georgia. If we're being 100% serious. Now, next year, they're going to lose some people. It's not going to be the same Michigan, but you still you feel like they're winning the Ohio State matchup. They probably can beat them again next year. Now, they obviously got to play some new Pac-12 teams, but if you stick around there for a little bit more, bring in some more recruits, man. You don't know what will happen. See how far you can go.
I don't know if Michigan is even going to play for the Big Ten championship next year. I'll be honest with you, because you got Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Personally, I think Oregon's the best team in the Big Ten this year for 2024.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Oregon and Ohio State. The way Ohio State just reloads with talent every year, they reload with talent quicker than Michigan.
It's that same level with Georgia and Alabama. Like they're always at least top 5. I think they were 4th this year. I think Texas was 3rd, but they're in that same conversation of every year since like 2014. They're top 5, and they just lose the best wide receiver prospect that may have ever played college football, and just slot in Jeremiah Smith, who's the best recruit in the country. So they'll be all right. And they got Will Howard. I mean, I'm not the highest person on Will Howard, but he could prove me wrong.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, once again, congratulations to Michigan. Now we're going back to the NFL, and in 2 days on Saturday, Wild Card starts up, and we have some very interesting, very very interesting matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first game on is I'm gonna say what Steelers Buffalo. Is that the?
It's so 4:30 on Saturday. We got the Browns at the Texans.
Ooh,
Browns Texans. That's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Good one.
Got Flacco versus CJ.
The Deshaun Watson Bowl.
Yeah,
that really is.
Then we all got to get on our Peacock accounts, and we got to watch Miami versus Kansas City. That's gonna be nasty just because it's on Peacock.
I can't believe that.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
They know what they do.
110 mil just to make me mad is crazy, and I'm not buying an account, by the way. There will be another way that I watch that game, and it's not through Peacock.
Well, that's half of it, but I guess I'll explain the other half when we're doing our predictions.
I will be on TikTok watching that game.
Oh well. If y'all need an illegal stream, just let me know.
Whoa, hold on. We
don't use those. We don't use those.
No, we don't use those.
We use TikTok.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. People live stream it, and it's legal because they don't show the commercials.
That's true.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Then on Sunday we have Steelers Bills at 1. Then another interesting game is Packers Cowboys at 4:30, and then we end the night off and the return back to Detroit with Matthew Stafford. The Rams play the Lions at the nightcap game, and then we finish off Wild Card weekend with Eagles versus Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. That's going to be very, very interesting.
I'll be honest. My fault. My fault. Keep going. My fault.
I want to say,
let me shut up.
Let's start off. Go back in the first wild card game. Browns Texans. How we feel about that one? Who y'all got?
Could be the best game of the playoffs. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is such a meme pick because it's either Joe Flacco in 2024 or a rookie quarterback. And I will pick I think I just got to pick the Texans. Mainly because it's not really for any logical reason. It's just because they're they're probably the most likable team in the playoffs. I don't know, and also I got a good feeling about C.J. Stroud being the first rookie quarterback to win a playoff game since Ben Roethlisberger did it back in 2004. I like their offense. I think they have some underrated wide receivers. Now their defense has been surprisingly good for as young as they are. I think that none of these teams really have that much playoff experience except some of the Browns players that were around back for that 2020 run when they beat the Steelers at home and there were no fans in the stands. So it's not really that much experience. It's kind of even. So I think the Texans will be a little more loose and a little more relaxed because, I mean, it's essentially their first go at it. There's no expectation. So I think C.J. Stroud is just going to ball out, and I think the Texans win a close one at home.
I like it. I'm I don't think that I would pick the Browns every single time, but I think for this one time, simply because the Texans are so young and they don't have Tank Dell, I'm gonna go with the Browns simply because that defense is absolutely insane. I mean, Miles Garrett is having a hell of a year, and I also have a little bias towards the Browns. Um, so personally, I'm gonna go with the Browns. I would like to see the Texans win because I'm a big fan of C.J. Stroud now that he's not on Ohio State. Um, I'm gonna go Browns by 3. I think it'll be close because that I will say the Texans crowd is gonna show up for sure. I think they'll show up and be really loud because they did in that. I couldn't tell you what game it was, but it might have been against the Colts or something. I say that because I was watching on TikTok, but it was a really good game, and they had a close to a sellout crowd. It looked like so. If they believe in their team, I think they got it. But in this instance, I'm going to take the Browns just because they don't have Tank Dell.
Let me see. I don't think it's been a while since I seen Miles Garrett in the playoffs, and I know the Texans O line ain't really that really ain't that good. I think both quarterbacks are gonna ball out though. I think CJ he might have some butterflies, but he's just gonna let it loose because they already exceeded expectations this year. Um, with Flacco, I'm already know what Flacco gonna be, bro. It's playoffs, Joe Flacco, bro. I seen the script, bro. He's gonna have a field day. I'm already seeing it, bro. But I think it's gonna come down to I think it's gonna be a close game, I wanna say. And whoever really gets the ball at the end is probably gonna win this game. But I think the Browns might pull out, bro. They might pull through. I think they're gonna win on the game winning field goal. I think CJ's gonna have a good game though for his first playoff start then. The next game is Dolphins Chiefs. Chan, how we feel about that one?
So all I've heard from Chiefs fans is that they cannot wait to boo Tyreek Hill, and how they've been waiting on this day or this moment for ever since he left. I couldn't tell you what year it was, to be honest with you. What year was it? 2022? 2021? Whenever Tyreek left?
Yeah.
It was a 2022 offseason.
Oh, okay. It's going to suck whenever Tua walks in there with Tyreek Hill and beats him at home. Give me the Dolphins. I'm being the evil one. I'm being evil. Give me Tyreek Hill having 180 yards, 11 catches, smoking that defense. Tua kind of sucking, but it's okay because Tyreek Hill's going to carry him. Give me the Dolphins. I want to see it. Give me the Dolphins. How confident am I in that? Not really. But it's time to be evil.
So I'll tell everybody the reason, the other half of why this game is going to be on Peacock is because the NFL has absolutely no faith, nor should they, in Tua beating a team above 500, especially in the playoffs. Like, the Dolphins defense last week got three turnovers, and they still lost at home. So and Tua was I don't think Tua's I think he saw snow once, and it might have been an inch of snow. We're talking about, I think they're saying between 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. It's going to be around close to 0 degrees, snow. They're Mike McDaniel, as good of a coach as I think that he is, he's going to have to absolutely baby Tua because Tua's arm isn't that strong in the first place. So they might have to try to follow the 2021 Monday Night Football Patriots script in that 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, where they only threw it about 3 or 4 times, which isn't going to work because the Chiefs have a top 3 defense in the NFL. And they also have Patrick Mahomes who can easily throw in those conditions. So I think the Chiefs probably win comfortably, probably by about 10 points.
Look, you're probably right, but whenever Devin Achane has about 150 yards in the middle of the fourth quarter, I just want to circle back to this moment right here, and the Dolphins win.
Hey, listen, man. I might agree with you, but Chris Jones is in a contract year.
Yeah, but he's gonna slip. I'm just telling you, he's gonna.
He's just
Just telling you, it's gonna happen. Believe me or not. How you feeling? I see what you got.
I'm looking at this game. I think it's big on both sides. And I think people kind of feel like, well, first off, Miami's defense is just depleted. They got two. I know Phillip and Chuba are just out for the rest of the season. I don't even know if Howard's playing. They still got. I think they still got two of the starting safeties, and then they got Ramsey. But Ramsey be scaring me. It'd be hard to defend him. But even they'll I think it's left outside linebacker, white dude with the hair. I can't think of his name right now. But
you talking about? I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from. I remember he went to Wisconsin. It's Van Ginkel, Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah. I don't even know he's playing. They saying he might be out. So it might be easy pickings for the Chiefs. But then I look at the Chiefs and I'd be like, before I go to the Chiefs, let's talk about Miami's offense and Tua. This is a big game for Tua because one, he has a chance to prove that like he's not a Tyreek merchant. But he probably is going to have to feed Tyreek this game because Tyreek want his get back. So we're going to see how he do. Two, I think this is like his fourth. Is it a fifth option? Fourth option or something like that?
Talk about contract?
Yeah, the contract. Like
it's his fourth year.
Fourth year. So we got to see if Miami's going to pay him. I know he didn't play last year in the playoffs because of concussions. But I think this is the first playoff start, right?
Yeah, first playoff start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first playoff start. So he might be in like maybe he can be in a Daniel Jones type situation last year, and whereas like Daniel Jones balled out against the Vikings, but people didn't put context around the situation, and like the Vikings had a horrible defense. If Tua can come out and like dot up the Chiefs' defense, which is definitely their strong suit, he might get a payday. But then it might be a difficult conversation where it's like, all right, Tua played great against the Chiefs, but if they lose the game, like how much money do we pay Tua? That's going to be a different conversation for a different day, depending on the outcome of the game. We look at the Chiefs side. The Chiefs, Mahomes going to be Mahomes. You're going to see if he really struggles or not, but I doubt it. But if they do lose this game, I think this is going to be a minor setback into the dynasty run, and then they're going to really have to look for like a true wide receiver one. I think if they want to grow with Rice, I think he can become an elite wide receiver one. But there's some wide receivers in this draft class in the first round, like they should be looking at. But if I don't really got a dog in the fight, but if I do, I probably would go with the Chiefs. Just because they're at home. Miami's a warm weather team. Defense is depleted. Go ahead and give me the Chiefs.
I like it. I mean, I know I just said the Dolphins are going to win. I'm not very confident in that, I'll be honest. But the Dolphins have a chance to do the funniest thing Saturday night. And sadly, nobody's going to watch it on TV.
Yeah, they have the funniest thing to if they win, potentially set their franchise back about 10 years by giving Tua a bunch of money.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. The next wild card game, I think this is probably going to be a wacky one. The Steelers versus the Bills. My dog Minka, he's coming back ever since week 15 injury, so I still the defense going to be up and running. I don't know what TJ. I don't know if
No,
TJ is going to be.
TJ's out. TJ's out.
Oh, TJ's out. Shoot, man. I know they got the other boy on the other side. He's a good edge rusher.
Yeah, Highsmith.
Highsmith, but Mac, how we feeling about this one?
I'm feeling like this could be a repeat of when the Steelers last made the playoffs and they had to go to Arrowhead. They're probably gonna get their shit pumped. In all honesty, I think talk about hot quarterbacks. Josh Allen's modern day Brett Favre. Interceptions don't seem to phase him that much, so he'll probably go scorched earth on the Steelers because outside of Minka, their DBs really aren't that good, and most of their pass rush is predicated on TJ Watt. And also, I have no faith in Mason Rudolph to move the football that well in a playoff setting. None at all.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I agree. I was saying boo Minka because he's the one that hurt Nick. So, I have a personal vendetta in this game. But I just think Josh Allen's going to have a field day. I know they have Joey Porter Jr., and I imagine he'll be on Diggs, I guess, the whole game. But, Minka wouldn't be on him like one-on-one, right? He's a safety.
No, he's a safety.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Diggs on a rookie? Oh, that's barbecue chicken.
He's probably their best one, I'd imagine, unless Joe Hayden's going to come back out there and help him out. But I don't think so. But yeah, give me the Bills by I'll be honest, probably 2 touchdowns, maybe more. And is it going to snow?
In Buffalo, probably.
Yeah, give me the Bills. Yeah, James Cook's going crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. There's a report where if the weather gets too bad, they might have to play the game in Cleveland.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think there's a report on that. Like if the weather gets too crazy, then they'd have to move it.
I don't care where that game's played. They could play that game on the moon. I'm picking the Bills.
Yeah.
Who you got, Icy?
I'm gonna take the Bills. Now this could be funny as hell. Josh Allen. I agree with you, Matt. He is the modern day Brett Favre, and he was on a hot streak. Now that Miami game kind of set back that fizzled the hot streak just a little bit, just because of his play. But they're on a winning streak right now. I still have flashbacks of, I think it was a 2019 wild card game when him and it was the Texans versus
the Bills, yeah.
The Bills, and even though I think that was his first wild card game, I still remember him just doing he would get out of some crazy situations and throw some crazy throws. And even though I think he threw some picks that game, or it was just like drop picks or just drop passes, I feel like I can see some crazy stuff happening where he's doing that. I know in Arrowhead, he probably, to me, he had like the play of the year. When he was going out left, and he went sideways and threw a pass, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, give me the Bills in this one. Next playoff game we got is the Packers versus the Cowboys. Here we go. Mac, who you got?
This is pretty easy. It's the Cowboys at home. Give me the Cowboys. I know Jordan Love's on a tear right now. Good for him. Packers fans don't deserve 3 good quarterbacks in a row. But yeah, no, the Cowboys are just a different animal at home. They are literally unbeatable as of today. So, I mean, I expect nothing less. Dax can have a good performance. The Packers were also a surprise team, but yeah, no, I think Dallas takes care of business.
I agree. As much as the Packers have a chance to do the funniest thing, I'm going Cowboys. Hurts me to say, but I'm going Cowboys.
I'm gonna go. I think Cowboys are the best team at home this year. They haven't lost a game, I believe. Um, give me the Cowboys. Jordan Love. He's gonna. I think he's gonna play all right, but he's gonna struggle a little bit trying to read a playoff type defense. That pass rush is gonna be ferocious. Give me Dallas big. The next game we got the Rams versus Lions nightcap game. Chan, who you got?
I'm gonna rock with my Georgia guy, the Georgia guy that's on the lines. I forgot his name, but there is one. As much as I love Matty Staff, and I'd love for him to win, I made an early prediction, and I had the Lions in my NFC Championship game, so I have to stick with that because I want to be right. So I'm going Lions at home. I think they're very good at home, just like the Cowboys. Not as good as the Cowboys at home, but they're still very good at home. I think Dan Campbell, as Mac is probably about to say, they're going to eat some kneecaps. And as much as I would love, again, for Matty Staff to win this game and go on and, continue his legacy, I think the Cinderella run stops here. So give me the Lions.
This might be the toughest game to predict because honestly, if you simulated this 100 different times, I think you could go 50-50 split, pretty even. Uh, love me some Dan Campbell, and hopefully my future head coach Ben Johnson really turns up. But also, Sean McVay with nothing to lose is even more dangerous than he already is. With Matt Stafford playing pretty well, with Puka, with Cooper Cup, and of course you can't forget about maybe the best defensive player we've ever seen in Aaron Donald. But I don't know. There's been a lot of playoff losing kind of playoff droughts. Snap, the Bengals did it a couple of years back. I don't know. It is so hard to predict. I don't know because I feel like Detroit has a lot of pressure on them just because they haven't won a playoff game since '93. But I don't know. I just feel like at least for the wild card, I think it's Detroit's time to really to finally win a playoff game. I just think that they got something good going over there, and as much as I like the what could be the second best coach of all time, and Sean McVay, I don't know. I think that Dan Campbell will be biting on those kneecaps.
Who you got, Icy?
Uh, I want to say this is going to be a barn burner, but I don't know what Jared Goff is going to do, man. I know what Matt is going to do. He's going to come in. He's going to feel a little bit emotional and be like, "Yeah, I'm back home." So he might show Jared Goff that this is his city still. Um,
If he did, that'd be crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
That'd be definitely crazy. But when I look at this matchup, I think we don't talk about Detroit's defense isn't really that good. And you're going against a rookie who just set 2 records in Puka Nuka. And then you still got Cooper Cup still doing Cooper Cup things. And Sean McVay, he's gonna cook up some shit, boy. Plus, also that running back. I think he's a 2nd-year running back. I want to
Yeah,
say.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, he's dangerous too. Oh man, it's tough. I'm gonna go with. I go with the Rams. Fuck it, I go with the Rams. It's gonna be
Having
interesting.
having Ben Johnson versus Sean McVay just out there trying to dial up every single thing they can is going to be crazy.
That's a future head coaching matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Shoot,
also interested to see what the my fault, but I'm interested to see what the Rams defense is going to look like because I mean, obviously it's Aaron Donald in the playoffs. He might run wild, run wild. And if y'all remember the last time these teams meet, him and the tackle for Detroit, I can't think of his name, but he was from Oregon.
oh,
Panay
like Taylor Decker or
Nah, the other one,
the
Penei
rookie.
Sewell,
Yeah, that's like
Penei
Panay Sewell.
Sewell. Yeah, my
Or
fault.
not rookie.
They was going at it. They was literally like they was about to fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see that. I need to see some type of. I don't, bro. I don't care. People get a little soft talking about the punching and stuff like that, or like full out helmet swinging. I'm trying to see some of that. I need that in my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plus, also the Rams got two rookies edge rushers that no one been talking about. That combined total of 17 sacks this year. So it's going to be an interesting game. And then we finish out wild card weekend with the Monday night matchup. Eagles are at Tampa Bay. This one is going to be very interesting. Chan, who you got?
I believe the opposite. I'll be honest with you. I don't think the Buccaneers are that good. If any team is struggling twice with the Falcons, I know what you are. You're not that good. This is the fakest 9-8 in the entire history of the league. Not that 9-8 is anything that's like truly incredible, but I think this is the Eagles' game where they get back to who they actually are, which they're not going to be who they were last year, but I think they get back to at least being an all right football team because they've lost 5 of their last 6. So now they got a, by my standards, easy test. It is, on the road, so I think it'll be a good challenge for them. But I personally think that they're going to win this game by more than 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I'm not that confident. I don't know, man. Baker's been playing some incredible football. Like top like for the roster and their expectations. Like he's played like a top 10 quarterback legitimately. Like if you remove his name from the statistics and the advanced stats, like the easily top 10 quarterback. Jalen Hurts is kind of got exposed a little bit, but that's more of like how good of a coach Steichen was. Uh, it's kind of hard. I want to lean towards the Eagles. They've just not been very good at all. But in the mid versus mid, I think the Eagles are just gonna out talent them enough to just barely squeak by. So yeah, Eagles.
All right, who you got?
Yeah, I'm. It's concerning that Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown a football since Sunday. I know the game is on Monday, but that's very concerning. Um, there's a little bit pressure on Nick Sirianni because Philly has shown that they will fire winners in the city of Philadelphia. Um, if I'm the Bucks, man, Baker, this could be your job. This really could be your job because I'm not gonna lie. The South was really weak this year, and it's probably going to be continue to be weak. They won it 3 times in a row, but obviously the 2 was Brady. But I think fans are kind of I don't know. I don't know too many Tampa Bay fans, to be honest.
They
But I
don't
think they
exist.
kind of I
Yeah,
just
there's very little.
yeah. But I feel like they kind of feel like they kind of hung like left over, like they were expecting something last year with Brady. Maybe they thought like they was gonna win a playoff game or something, but this time around, like maybe they feel like we won a dub. Like maybe they feel like we can beat them. 2 years ago, even though it was a different offense, they did beat them. So maybe they hold Baker to that standard. Is like, yo, go beat this team. Um, well, you gonna say something?
He had two bigs here.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
He said, "Too big said, Tubby, stop talking."
Crazy.
Oh my goodness. I think Baker's job is already secured. I think he's gonna get a nice contract. If it's not with Tampa, it's gonna be with somebody else.
I don't know. It's it's. I think the Eagles definitely have more talent on their team, but I will say, Winfield Jr. is feeling pissed off that he didn't get a Pro Bowl. Um, Devin White is feeling like maybe he can. Like he already showed it this season, but there's still rumblings that they're saying that like he quit on his team and like he's just he just don't care about Tampa Bay anymore. They still got their edge rushers. Like the defense is still there. It's just what Baker's gonna do.
Mhm.
Now it would be very hilarious if Baker has, Baker likes playing with a chip on his shoulder. He likes playing like knowing is gonna believe in him. That's where like the best version of Baker comes out. And I think he knows in his mind like he can like rewrite his whole career with this W. It's like the Eagles ain't just no pushover. They just struggling right now.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna lean towards Philly, but for the first time, for any of the viewers, you're going to hear me wanting Baker Mayfield success. I want him to do good this game, which is nasty, very nasty.
Yeah, I don't. Humble
Yeah.
yourself. I'll never forget that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting weekend, man. Should we might if we have the time, we might do a live stream. We might not. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
Um, but going over from NFL, we're gonna hop back into the NBA. We're gonna talk about one team that's been playing really shitty lately, and that's kind of stuck as a franchise, and that is the Golden State Warriors. They have been stinking up the court. It's been bad. Um, Curry's been shooting bad. They got booed the other night. They almost lost by 40. Klay Thompson is just non-existent. Um, I can't even say the nickname because I don't want to get canceled. But I have a nickname for Andrew Wiggins. But
Oh, it's not Higgins Wiggins.
nah, it's
Higgins
just
Wiggins of
not.
Andrew.
Nah. But he's cooked. Um, yeah, he's definitely cooked. It's crazy because that devil magic worked 2 years ago in the C's, or that whole playoff run. He looked totally new, brand new, but now he just looks sloppy. He's not even a 15 point per game scorer. They're not hustling right now. Steve Kerr don't know what to do. Draymond was in the building. He was back with the team trying to pump them up, and it just didn't do anything. Uh, where do we see the Golden State going down here? We know that All Star Weekend is right around the corner. The trade deadline is looming soon. What do we see? Pan, I start with you.
I'll be honest. I mean, preseason, I didn't like the team. To be honest with you, I didn't understand getting Chris Paul. Um, I, he didn't even play in this game. I'm looking at the stats right now. Is he hurt? He's probably hurt. I mean, I don't understand why they got Chris to begin with. I personally, I thought it was time to maybe look into blowing it up. Um, I don't see this team doing anything this year. I mean, I guess if you want to ride off into the sunset this year, then that's cool. I mean, have a fun year. You know, maybe some Curry moments, maybe a Clay 40-point game, or maybe he makes 8 threes in a row. Maybe Chris Paul has a wild second half in a game, but this isn't going to do anything. I mean, you're losing by, what was that, 35 to the Pelicans on national television. It's not a good look. Curry's 4 for 13. He thinks he's Trae Young. I mean, he had 15 and 6 with a rebound. And it doesn't say it's plus minus, but I can't imagine it was anything near positive. I don't like the team. I don't like how it's built. I mean, you're letting Jonas Valanciunas drop 21 on you. I'll just read out the numbers from the Pelicans. Zion 19, Brandon Ingram 13, Herb Jones 12, Valanciunas 21, CJ McCollum 14, Nick Marshall 12, Jay Hawkins, I don't even know what his first name is, 14, Trey Murphy 16. This is not gonna win. Dyson Daniels 8. This is not a winning formula at all. I don't think they're gonna do anything. I think they should really look into blowing it up.
Oh man, the entire offseason I was just after they made that trade for Chris Paul. I just been calling them the 2013 Dwight Kobe Lakers reincarnated, and that's pretty much what they are. This is just, I mean, and it's even more theatrical. It's less sad and just kind of more funny and theatrical. You had Draymond Green on his podcast talking about how him and Steve Kerr had a cry in his backyard. I don't know what was up with that. Curry's kind of starting to crumble, as he probably should at age 34, trying to carry this aging roster. Clay, I don't think Clay's accepted the fact that he's completely washed. He's still trying to jack up threes. Their young players are pissed off, although their young players really aren't that good anyways. Kuminga's not as good as people thought that he was. Moody's not as good as people thought he was. That's why they're not really getting that many minutes, but they kind of need to, because they're really the only ones outside of Steph that can give a little bit of juice. I mean, they got Dario Saric playing big minutes in the Big 2024. Like, what are we doing? I forgot Dario Saric was even in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was good. Well, he bounced around a couple places, but he was good for Philly. He was very good.
Yeah, I remember he was in Philly, and then he was in Minnesota, and then
The Suns.
Yeah,
He was good.
I mean, it's like bringing Dragon Bender back and being like, oh, here, we need you to play some clutch time minutes.
That's a little disrespectful to Dario Saric, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah.
Dragon Bender was he wasn't even playable when he was a rookie.
Dude, I remember where he got drafted.
Oh no, that was just because of Kristaps hype.
It literally
That's
was.
all that
literally was.
Yeah, shout out Tingus Pengus.
Who drafted him? Was it the Suns?
The Suns.
Yeah.
Good lord.
But yeah, they've been playing like straight dog water. I can't even say it. But
yes, it's over. They can't even. They just got to ride it out at this point, because they don't really have any tradable assets outside of obviously whatever draft picks they have left. But even then, you're not a piece or two away. You're like 3 or 4 quality NBA players away from doing something. It's crazy to think that a team with Steph, Draymond, and Clay probably isn't even going to make the play-in, because even then they've got competition with the 2 underachieving frauds with the Lakers and the Suns, who are better. I mean, the Suns are even, oh my goodness, if it wasn't for the Suns should be counting their lucky stars that the Warriors are as dysfunctional as they are right now, because otherwise, that man KD would have even more of a microscope underneath him. Talking about playing through the grind, like he didn't try to build like 2 super teams since he left Golden State.
Oh, are you talking about the Suns' second option right now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Booker has 23, 9 of 14 shooting. Kevin Durant has 7 on 3 of 7. So
They were talking about the Warriors might as well trade for KD back.
I mean, they'd finally
Why
have
not?
a true number one. I'm just kidding.
I don't even think you're gonna give up all that just for what? Probably not even a championship. To be honest.
They're not getting a championship, and honestly, they're after this year. I don't think that they're particularly close to retooling. So if the Warriors want to go full happy days like they've been going, hey, have at it. Run the 2017 All-Star team.
I mean, enjoy your send-off season. I guess that's all I gotta say, because this is nothing's coming out of this team right now.
All that needs to happen is they trade for KD. Him and Draymond have a good cry in Draymond's backyard. They make up, and then they're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Now I'll say this: I've seen teams shift energy and like move up through the standings. Now this is still, we're kind of like early mid point of the season, going on to the midpoint. So maybe the Warriors can do something to get at least in the play-in. But I wouldn't even if you had a choice of like losing the game to get like a better draft pick, I probably would, or just go ahead and stink it up for the rest of the season.
So here's the funny part: is the Warriors don't even have their own first-round pick.
Oh,
they don't have their own first-round pick.
Who did it go to?
It was in a trade.
Minnesota.
It might be a minute. I'm trying because I know that we had the pick initially, and then we traded it during the draft.
Interesting.
Yeah, they don't even have their own first round pick. So, I mean, although I think I have to fact check myself to make sure if the Warriors have their first round pick. So yeah, no, they're pretty screwed.
Yeah, I'm on the verge of saying like, yo, you gotta like. I know this is Curry's doing right now. Talking about he wanted to run it back.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt. Their first round pick is with Portland right now. Portland has the Warriors' first round pick. It was thrown around in the Drew Holiday trade.
Oh wow, that's interesting. But I know this was Curry's idea to run it back this year, but I don't think they're. I'm gonna say this. I don't think the Warriors are really like. I think they're kind of scared or not man enough to tell Curry like the truth, bro. Because Bob Myers left for a reason. There's a reason why Klay Thompson is playing bad. There's a reason why Jordan Poole's not there anymore. And all those reasons come back to the main problem. They're too old and their ego is too high. Curry gotta understand, bro. Like, yes, at the end all be all, Curry's probably gonna be a top 10 player ever in the game of basketball. But the good days in Golden State, bro, just over, bro. It's time to rebuild, and that's the bad thing about any dynasty. Like, you gotta know when it's over, and like famous Max Kellerman line, it's always good to trade a player that is still in his prime 2 years earlier before 2 years late, because you can get some type of value from them. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm Golden State and if you really wanted to keep like the good times rolling, I'll see what's the asking price for Curry. I say what,
A lot.
two, at least two first rounders, and a couple seconds, or maybe three firsts and like 2 seconds or something, or some players behind. But like, you gotta look around because they don't have no trade value. I don't think so.
No, they don't.
Wiggins, Wiggins not even a seventh man right now. Clay is Clay is just a ghost of Clay Thompson. He's just a shell of himself. Now there will be good. There's teams out there that need Draymond because it looks like there's just no defense being played this year. But then if you leave Draymond, then your whole defense identity is gone. And then I like to say, like I tell my friends all the time, there's an unstoppable play when they run a high pick and roll with Draymond and Curry, and they won't even do that anymore. But hey, you're probably not gonna win any more chips. And Curry, like just to get this team through the playoffs, like he's gonna have to go bonkers every night almost. But Steve
Dude,
Kerr kind of set the franchise back too because he didn't want to play he didn't want to play young dudes at all. And that was supposed to keep the French like the dynasty rolling a little bit till the wheels come off. He didn't want to do that. So
yeah, no, they. Well, Bob Myers also messed up by thinking that he could have his cake and eat it too by instead of trading away those high picks that they only got because the roster was injured for 2 years. They're just better off trading those picks for depth or for an established star.
Yep.
Like there's no reason when you're in a win now unless, especially in basketball, because there's only what there's 13 or 14 roster spots. In in football, it makes sense because you have a total of 22 starters and then depth guys. So it makes sense to always, have young guys. But in the case of the Warriors, where there's not that many roster spots, you're better off trading away those high picks for dudes that can come in and help you win now because that's your window. Like it didn't make sense to me back in 2020 when they drafted Wiseman or when they traded not traded when they drafted Moody and when they drafted Kuminga. It just didn't really make. I mean, I understand the vision, but it didn't make sense. You gotta in basketball, you really gotta pick one or the other. You
Well,
can't really have both.
yeah, and it's also like you know how long your window is with your core guys. There's no reason to try to envision a future where you're still competing in that same like height with different guys. Like there's almost no chance that's going to happen. You're not going to draft three guys that can replace Curry, Clay, and Drade, what they've done for your franchise. So instead of trying to replicate it, just help them out for as long as you can stretch this window out, and then go into a rebuild because you know at some point you're going to have to rebuild. Like there's no
Yeah,
way you can retool in the draft and hit every single one. Even with your second overall pick, you picked James Wiseman. What'd you do? You traded him. Like, as you said, you should have traded that pick for depth and try to extend this window now and give them help because clearly they need help. And maybe you get rid of one of these guys. Maybe it's time. I mean, Clay Thompson kind of sucks. So maybe it was getting close to time to trade Clay too. I don't know. I mean, I know Clay's way a part of this core, but you just try to with your at least with your star, you try to extend out his window as long as you can.
yeah. It's just like you can't get anything for Clay though. Like you can't really get anything of value for him that will help you now or really even in the future. What is he worth? Like 2 second round picks?
Yeah, I mean, you could have got more before the season, but now
No.
because now
and
people see what he is. My bad.
like Oklahoma City did, bro. They had Russ, KD, Harden. They knew like, all right, we got to one finals, and we ain't gonna get back. Trade away Harden. That KD left. Traded Russ, and it took them about 10 or 9. I think 10 or 11 or 9 seasons to get this team where they got today, and they're still considered a young team. They
Mm-hmm.
completed the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
They got
That's
fans in Oklahoma jumping for joy.
that that that
Weeping.
was that was that's that was one of the dumbest decisions of all time. it legitimately cost them a championship. I mean, you can say that the Rockets gave James Harden more of an opportunity, but I mean, when you're a superstar of that caliber in his prime or ascending into his prime, I think he would have been great regardless because that's usually how the great ones are. They're great regardless of where you put them. But picking Serge over Harden is one of the worst decisions in NBA history.
Wild, truly
Well, we
wild.
would have never known what Harden was going to be, though. That's the thing. Like, Harden was the narrative on Harden when he was in Oklahoma was he was a six man, and it like he didn't really show up in the playoffs like that. That was a narrative on him till he got his own team and boomed and blemished out. It was just like, oh, so this is a horrible trade by Oklahoma. But I mean, we would have really never known, to be honest.
That is true.
So it goes both ways. But in hindsight, looking at it, it'd be like, yeah, they had 3 MVPs on a roster, but only had one Finals appearance, even though they was young. But they probably going to get maybe multiple Finals appearances with this team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Uh, there's been a lot of good young teams that look very promising. Then one thing leads to another, and maybe they only make one finals appearance. Maybe they don't make the finals. Who knows?
Just real quick. Outside of the Nuggets in the West, who is like the second team?
Second team right now is probably
It's the Timberwolves.
it's either OKC or the Timberwolves.
Hey, shout out Georgia! Shout out Georgia player Anthony Edwards. That's what I'm saying.
But even still, like those two teams are built for the regular season, and we don't know what the outcome is going to come playoff time. Like we everybody remember last playoffs with the last time the Timberwolves was in the playoffs. Like they showed a lot of inexperienced gameplay.
Yeah,
And then
I
with
think
OKC, it's the same thing. They just gotta get reps in.
I think the T Wolves will have way more success because I think that they have in these playoffs because they're better equipped defensively.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
is
also
true.
think Ant is incredible.
Like
Not even to be biased.
Rudy Gobert is probably gonna win like his fourth defensive player of the year because finally Rudy Gobert they finally figured out the role for him and he's not dealing with perimeter turnstiles like Joe Ingles and Donovan Mitchell where they literally get they it's like in Spain with the bull you just pull the cape over that was Donovan Mitchell's perimeter defense. He just like said Olay, and then all of a sudden Rudy Gobert's got about 4 different guys wide open on the perimeter, and there's only so much you can do in that situation, and then you end up looking goofy.
I mean, Paul George had Rudy Gobert looking like an idiot out there, and then
Yeah.
Terrence Mann, and then anybody.
It was malpractice. This was years ago, though. It was malpractice that somehow Rudy Gobert was literally on the perimeter guarding Steph Curry. And that's the one where he looks like an idiot. Like, why is he guarding Steph Curry that far out?
Steph, Paul George, all of them. It was like they had Rudy out here, like 35 feet from the basket. Why?
They let him out to dry because they were starting Joe Ingles. Who is Joe Ingles stopping on the wing? Nobody.
Yeah. But going back to Golden State, we're gonna it's gonna be rough for Golden State fans.
Although actually, hold on. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't at least mention the Clippers.
Oh yeah, Clippers been on a tear.
I gotta look up their record.
Now we gotta see. I know they was on a 10-game winning streak.
I think it was 10 or 12 games that they won in a row.
Yeah, and they lost to the Lakers on Sunday.
Yep.
But
The admin.
that's the thing. I mean, Clippers. It's still the biggest question is like playoff time. Like, how is it really going to be? Regular season, yeah, they look good. They look like a good team, but we're gonna see. And I like it to where I like it when a team that has like, I ain't gonna lie, Russell, Harden, even PG and Kawhi at times had like a little bit of drama around them. PG and Kawhi just like injuries, but like that team over there, they ain't making no drama, and they just hooping.
Yeah.
They're playing good basketball.
Yeah,
So.
they're 16-3 in their last 19.
I don't know what it is. I promised myself that I would never fall for another Clippers team after that 2019-2020 team, but I'm telling you, man, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I still kind of like Harden. I don't know. Like they've got my attention again.
Harden's just out there hooping, man. Like there was a clip of him doing a step back, and it looked like 2018 where he took the biggest, 2020 here, step back, another
Has
one.
it-
Like it's wild.
His game, like people hate on his game because he flops in the paint, but there may not be 5 players with a more aesthetically pleasing game than James Harden.
I mean, when he's going off, whenever it was 2018, 2019, whenever he had that,
Yeah. He was averaging like 35.
yeah, that streak of 30-point games, 30 and 10 or 30-point games or something like
Yeah,
that, or maybe it was
30
40.
and 10.
It was ridiculous, and it ended against Atlanta though. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, shout out Kyrie tonight. He dropped 44. I think he had like 44 and 10, something like that.
Hey man, salute to Kyrie. The only time I ever hated Kyrie was when he stomped on the logo, but that's about it. What wasn't I'll put this out on the record. It was not Kyrie's fault that Boston didn't win a chip. He was there. Not his fault.
Mm.
Even though he's totally a weirdo, but it wasn't his fault.
The Earth.
No, so not to get too sidetracked, but I do want to throw in this story. So this is before film session, and somebody reported this. Kyrie Irving asked Brad Stevens a deep question, like what what is our purpose in this world or whatever, like before a film session, and Brad Stevens was flabbergasted. He had no idea what to say.
Like basketball.
I don't know. Oh man.
Well, real quick, who do we think Alabama's gonna hire?
Honestly, I think it's gonna be Lane. I think Lane Kiffin.
You think Lane?
I think so.
Who you got, Icy?
I think there's going to be Washington's head coach.
Oh, DeBoer? I like that.
DeBoer.
That's what I've heard that a lot. Oh, my fault.
No. The only problem with DeBoer is recruiting wise, that's not really a strong suit. But he's a damn good head coach. He can be a great coach. Now, whoever's coming in probably is going to get, I say maybe half or a little bit more of the draft class that that was there when Saban, the last draft class they got.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Honestly, I think he'll have a much easier time recruiting because there's going to be much more talent around him in the South than flying elsewhere to Washington. I think he's going to have a much easier time with recruiting.
And that brand can help sell itself. It may not be what it used to be, but
what it was
still
with
can.
Saban.
Yeah.
But it's easier to sell Bama than it is Washington.
Oh, yeah. For me, I think the best hire would be Glenn Schumann from Georgia. since he's an Alabama grad, he cares about the program more than just winning. Like, he actually cares about the school itself. He cares about the community. He's been there before. He knows Tuscaloosa. Um, People have went back on that and said hiring a first-time head coach is crazy. And my response was, well, Kirby was too. Now, granted, we weren't in the same place that Alabama was, but at the same time, like, that era is gone. You can't compare Saban to what's going to happen now. You kind of have to just take a step back. And I think growing with Schumann would be a really good idea. He already knows how to recruit down here. He's familiar with a lot of kids down here. I'm a personal fan of his because I've had dinner with him, but I think he would be the best hire if we're going about location and going about recruiting and all that. Because I think DeBoer is a great coach, but he doesn't recruit down here. He doesn't know the small towns like Schumann would. He doesn't know, where maybe there's a 3-star kid in Villa Rica that's insane, and Schumann knows about him. He can get him there. He can, coach him up and get his full potential. I just feel like Schumann will be the guy.
It wouldn't be mad at any of the three.
Lanning would have been the best one, though. Easily.
Yeah, that's true. Easily.
I think that about does it. I think we covered everything that's happened so far.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything
I think
else.
so.
Unless y'all got anything.
Nah. I don't got nothing.
Let's see who the Hawks play tomorrow. Let's see.
But I don't got nothing. Y'all ain't got nothing else?
We're at
Nope.
the hour and a half mark.
Shit, we doing good since our first couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We play the Pacers tomorrow. Actually, I think we'll win that because they don't have Tyrese. Hopefully. We'll see. Dude, it's so crazy. The Pistons being 3-35 is crazy.
What's even crazier is nobody's talking about the Wizards having only 3 more wins.
We play them coming up Saturday. We play them on a back-to-back at home. Yeah, that's just as wild. And well, the Spurs too.
So I watched a 20-minute docuseries on the Wizards basically being irrelevant their entire history, and it kind of makes sense because they're usually around 30 to 40 wins every year. I don't know if you guys know this or not. They have not won 50 games since 1979.
Dang. God.
Yeah, they haven't won 50 games since 79.
Not even John Wall won 50?
No, the closest they got was 49 and when they lost to Isaiah Thomas in the second round.
Dang. Wow.
That was their peak, but
that is rough.
No, it makes sense because they're either mediocre or when they're really bad, there's a team that's worse than them. So they never really grab any of the headlines, no matter what. Unless they don't even grab the headlines around here. If you lived here, you would hardly know that the Wizards played basketball.
Facts. And I pray to God they don't move them. I hope they don't move the Wizards.
I think they're already moving them. I think they've already.
I think the plans are in place for them to move, but I don't know. It seems like a strategy for DC to match the offer.
I don't know. Last time I read about it, they said Northern Virginia was really pushing it hard, but Southern Virginia ain't going, just because it's just more traffic, and plus it's Southern Virginia, just to have a basketball team, it's gonna take a brick just getting there. So you probably gonna have to leave maybe 2 hours earlier, maybe even 3 to get through the traffic.
Yeah,
I know
it's like 2 different states in one. with
Yeah,
Nova
so
and
it's like it's just no use of really doing it. Yeah, they was trying to do the same thing with Washington, but that got shot down real quick.
I thought that all this was already set in stone. I thought they were doing it. Is it not?
no,
No.
it's
Oh, okay.
in DC almost nothing is set in stone.
Yeah, no.
Sure.
But also the Wizards really missed their window in the 80s and 90s to really try and build a fan base. Like they missed out on when the NBA popularity boomed like crazy. Even for as bad as the Pistons are, at least they have a history to kind of fall back on, like they've been doing ever since they got knocked out of the playoffs in like '08, and that was their final time doing anything. But no, but they really don't have much of a history. I mean, they do have a title, but they won that in the weakest era when hardly anybody was watching basketball at the time.
That is true. When the NBA
So, I
almost
mean,
died. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tragic situation for them because it seems like they've just had some. I mean, they're still incompetent, but I mean, they've just sometimes through no fault of their own. It hadn't really worked out that much.
Oh yeah, and real quick, just because I put it in the title, the NBA played a game in Paris today. The Cavs beat the Nets 111 to 102. I watched a little bit of it. Yeah.
Oh, so the Nets were in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
That's who was in Paris.
Mm-hmm. We finally figured it out.
Yeah, finally.
Well, anything else that y'all got real quick?
I don't got nothing.
Mike, you got anything?
Just trying to think. Nothing really except for I am very excited in the next couple of months to start getting into draft talk, off-season talk.
Oh, I can't wait
for the NFL.
I cannot wait. Well, Icy, you can go ahead and close this out.
Actually, one of y'all can do it.
Let me do it.
Yeah,
I got you.
You
Well, to the 2 people still watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know when we'll be back. We got any idea? I guess when are you? We'll talk about it. We'll tweet about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Check us out on Twitter, at Chandler CHXNLUH, Edelman Burner, and 23 Wonder WNDR. Is that right? You gotta help me out.
Yeah.
It's in the description.
23RD Wonder.
There we go. 23RD. That's what it was. But thank y'all for coming out tonight. Do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Peace out.
Peace.